And they take veins from my leg. They harvested veins from my leg.
I'll never forget that dentist the next day. Remember that doctor, whatever he was, came in, and they all have like these mobile, units. They just come in, they'll take X-rays, they do all these things, they do everything right at your bed. And he's in with an ultrasound, and there's this screen, and it's like showing like pulses and the sound of the blood going through the veins, and it's like, making all these sounds. And so I'm sitting there with his brother, and I'm like, excuse me, like, what are you doing? Is this for every surgery? Do they do this now? Like, you're like looking at all his veins and his neck and his leg. He's like, I'm vein mapping. So they vein map all your veins to see what will be the best for making the bypasses for the heart surgery.
Right.
Nuts.
And where did your veins come from?
Two of them came from, so I just learned this, that the heart has a spare vein on the back of the heart. It's connected to the top and kind of hangs down like that.
It's like a spare tire.
It's like a spare, so they use that one.
Wait, what is that for?
What's it attached to?
So they also told me that sometimes the heart will reattach it all on its own and bypass it on its own.
Are you fucking serious?
Blew me away.
Humans are amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. So one was done with the spare tire, if you will, and then two they harvested from my legs, from my leg, which my legs are still numb, normal. And then I found this out too. When they harvest the vein from your leg, for some reason they turn it inside out. Then they
yucko.
Yeah. And that's someone's sole job is to harvest, turn it inside out, give it to surgeon. His job is harvest, turn inside out.
And that costs $8 million.
Those bad passages, so bypass means they make a new route with that vein.
Yeah. Right. So the clogged arteries are still on my heart. They just bypassed around them.
Yep. What happens to the vein that they took away?
Down in my leg? I don't know. I needed to ask him that.
It's a stretchy kind of thing. So
maybe they reattach.
They just pull out the part that they need and reattach it.
Yeah.
Splice.
Wow. God.
They took 2 sections about this long.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So they could probably stretch.
Wow.
And unfortunately, when he got out of surgery, both legs were messed up. One leg they tried to do, and I don't know. Did you ever find out why
they couldn't harvest it from this leg for some reason? So I have 2 holes in this leg, but it's intact. Yeah. This leg, my left leg, they actually harvested a vein.
So I've been off the mic for quite a while, and I know that
we don't know him.
It's really nice.
How wonderful.
Yeah.
So I know that AK is about to have a heart attack because of that.
I don't know what to say.
I was dealing with some technical stuff, but I just want to call attention to one of the greatest one-liners off the cuff that I've ever heard on this very program, and that was Lindsay with an A saying, "That is not how I make veins."
That is not how I make veins?
Veins hard.
A main vein.
That was fucking brilliant.
Thank you. I have lots of practice.
We're gonna be bronzing that little part of the show, and we'll send that out to anybody who wants to donate to the show. And where the fuck was I when we needed this?
Right.
Thank you, Lindsay with an A.
Anytime.
And your cans that you brought with you today.
The best around.
They're really big. Powerful. So, do you have insurance?
Yes.
Whoa.
All right.
We're trying to keep this lighthearted.
I mean, it's important. If I didn't have insurance, I wouldn't have a leg, and I would still be in debt.
Right.
I thought we were segueing to the vein whisperer.
So that is a good thing to bring up.
It's crazy though. Like insurance is a game that we'll be playing now for the next year.
Absolutely.
What's covered, what's not. All the outside sources, like ambulance bill just came. I almost got a.
Oh shit!
That is not covered. You're
Unless Dennis drives it himself.
The ambulance bill came already discounted with insurance. Still
not
$1 million.
Still
It's crazy.
Hey, just visiting Tahoe Forest.
Yeah.
Oh, you can go
walking in the door.
You could go 18 miles and it's $3,500.
Yeah, we don't want to know.
And my practical, like being the budget woman I am, and I was like, why are you going to the ER? And I thought he was going to his doctor, but
I'm dying over here.
They would have sent him. They would have sent him to the ER. They would have said go to the ER, but they did.
Barbarino. I'm dying dying over here.
I'm dying over here.
Then you're in the hospital for.
Did I age myself saying Barbarino?
I'm the guy who said it first.
Is it from
Jesus
Welcome
Christ.
Back, Kotter? Alright.
Kotter, Mr. Kotter.
You guys age yourselves with the emergency 51.
Yeah,
I know. No,
That gave it away.
Nobody knows what that is.
I don't even know what that
What
is.
about ER? I was saying we should have talked about our favorite doctor TV
George
shows.
Clooney.
George Clooney, Noah Wiley. Those were some doctors.
My
I'd like
favorite
to see.
doctor is from The Simpsons, Dr. Bombay.
I like Dr. Riverside from.
Doogie Howser.
Ooh.
Oh, God, I've been mistaken for him before.
Not anymore.
No.
Lindsay.
that ship has sailed.
So can we
Kevin's
get
got
to the
Tony
part
Awards.
where- Can we get to the part where Dennis is admitted and he's in waiting for when we're gonna have surgery?
Is
You guys
he
remember-
crazy?
Do you remember how many funny posts
Oh,
he
you
was
mean-
doing on
you mean-
Facebook?
yeah.
Like the
Yes.
humor involved with this gentleman just blows my mind, and like the mindset he put himself into.
Well,
He wasn't showing me at least like he's freaking out.
mind
he's
you, I was
nervous.
all doped up.
So I have a clip here of Dennis's first experience in the ER, and I can play that right now. It went something like this.
Oh God! Screaming and
Yeah.
pushing people and getting their
anger out,
all their
man.
fluids all over you.
Oh.
Was I there? Wow. I must have been on drugs. Did I drive you to the hospital? Holy shit!
What other kind of incriminating sound bites do you have?
All kinds.
I know. There's a lot in there, and it sucks mostly for me.
So when,
I'll
when
bet.
Dennis came out of surgery, he first went on pain medication. This was his first reaction. Or unless, yeah.
That's about right.
Yeah, it was. I mean, the minute they put me in the ambulance, they doped me up, and I was doped up for.
You have to keep it light.
8 days.
8 days he
8
was
days
out of
was
it.
well, yeah, it's loopy.
I'm
couldn't
like, don't you
sleep.
remember this? Don't you remember that?
You don't
I
ever
remember
sleep.
anything.
And if you do fall asleep, it doesn't fucking matter because within 10 minutes somebody's like, excuse me,
Can I see
can you
your-
piss in this cup?
Can I see your shrunken
Yeah, and you're
dick
like,
again?
Wait, we haven't heard about that yet.
No, same with the show. Same with the show. Wait, this
So
didn't
this is
This is a show.
part 2 of the show. Part 2 of the show. We'll have to take part 2.
But I want to say before the show ends how amazing.
Then what ends?
We're never
Jesus Christ, we're just getting warmed up.
17 people here.
I just want to put it out there now.
You're a professional performer.
That the staff, the nurses, his surgeon, everyone at Renown was unbelievably amazing. I never felt like he was in good hands.
I second that. I have a whole new respect for male
Oh my
and
God.
female nurses.
They are-
a different breed of human.
No,
they're very caring and
So much.
I just can't
empathy.
say enough about the nurses. They're fucking awesome.
I lost both my parents within the last few years, and everybody that I dealt with in those roles were above and beyond compassionate and caring, and
At Renown?
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
Okay.
We're
Just in general.
In
I just was making
it's-
sure.
It's a saintly profession, and
It is. They're a different breed
I
of
walked
people.
away from my experience with every single one of those people saying, "How do you do this?
Right.
There's no way I could ever do it." And you could see it in their face that it was their calling. You could see it.
I consider myself a good patient. I was
Yeah.
trying to be comical
You were good.
and good and funny and whatever.
Hey, first time for everything.
Not a big deal. I don't want to make this a big deal.
And I can hear
I thought you didn't remember anything.
very little, but I can remember in the next room. I can remember the patient being mean to the nurse who was just so caring to me and so loving.
Yeah.
That they would throw their plate on the floor. You could just hear them calling him asshole. Just get out of here. I don't want to be bothered.
Really?
So oh yeah.
Which room is Dennis in? It's the one that says "bad motherfucker."
Well, just, again, circling back to what Kandy was just saying, and the fact that you admitted that you were high most of the time, you don't remember most of it.
Unsolicited high.
Again, I'm gonna. Right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna toot your horn again. It's a testament to you. People are on happy gas; their true colors come out. You were keeping it light. You were probably doing it to save her from feeling anxious out the yin yang.
And my mom. My
There's
mom.
mom.
Exactly. But my point is that the guy next to you was a total dick.
Yeah.
those
Probably was all his life.
Those are the exact same people that act like that
all
on a
the
fucking
time.
cruise.
Yes.
You know, at the golf course.
Yeah.
At the bar. I mean,
Grocery
there's just
store.
jerks. There's just
Remember your first roommate before you went to ICU, and you're like, I feel like you like say hi to him, like nobody like comes and visits him. He has like no friends and no family.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yes.
And then the daughter finally showed up and was totally like mean to him. Remember?
Yeah.
It was
She
horrible.
Mean,
Like,
horrible daughter. And the
like
first
he
thing
just
she said.
he had surgery too, open heart, right?
Yep.
God.
And the first thing she had to say to her father that was in recovery with the open heart surgery was, "We drank a whole bottle of vodka with no mixer last night." That's the first thing that she said to her dad when she walked out.
Oh, they seem like neat people.
Reno.
You know, keep your loved
Yeah, I
ones
mean,
closer.
So I think when doctors
And
have
the weird part was that the father was like, "Oh," he was kind of like, "Oh, that's." He was kind of like
He was into it.
Great, that's very
Canadian.
courageous.
Yeah, he was kind of proud. Yeah, it was one of
No
those
chaser at all. Wow. Okay.
dysfunctional family.
No cranberry
100%.
So I think when doctors have the discretion of how medical insurance is doled out and what things are covered and what aren't, those kind, I think that's the discretion that they should be using. It should be this guy over here, super cool, super nice, really receptive to our treatment and our program,
He's a
and
star,
is
star.
treating
Discounts?
everybody.
Right.
So that he
Good
gets
patient
the
discount.
fast track, and everything gets smoothed out when it comes to the paperwork side of things and the red tape.
I did get
And then,
discharged two
and then
days
I think
You're
the people
dark
who
line.
are saying that I drank a handle or what I like to call family size bottle of vodka
Pop off.
with my family, they should get the scrutiny, and they should get the and I understand that this is pie in the sky, but for the love of God, there's got to be some.
You gotta get a good patient discount. You get,
I really
get
think-
good
I
driver
thought
discounts
Kevin was
for
talking about
insurance,
thinning the
car
herd out
insurance.
a little bit. With that one.
So you're saying pull the plug?
That's where I thought you were going. That's where I thought you were going with that one.
Okay.
I
Well, I'm not going to say no.
I started talking to the gentleman. I forget his name, but he was a nice.
turned him
he was-
around, I bet.
He was a nice guy. There was, I've been exposed to dysfunction and dysfunctional.
I'm never
family
going to
a
be
lot.
talking to the welching kids again.
And it was definitely a dysfunctional father and son, and the son showed up later.
Well, let's get back into
I don't
Dennis.
think they had a mom.
Let's get back into Dennis's story, because I think there are there's some subtle things that happened in your hospital stay that you at least related to me that have they have comedy gold, Jerry, comedy gold built right around them. Let's talk about your. So when I first saw you, you were sitting in a chair, like in an easy chair, and you had just been served your
Broth.
daily meal.
And broth.
Not
And-
before surgery. This is before surgery.
You happened to get a pot pie that night,
Oh.
which you
Oh,
were
God.
raving about. But I'm understanding that was not always the case with the food selection at the hospital. I would like you to expand on that a little bit, but also I'd like you to expand on what happened just prior to me showing up, which I think you had a shower experience right before that, and that would be. I think the listeners really want to know what happens after triple bypass surgery, and I have to take a shower. Go.
What happened to your nose?
Well,
Hey,
let's backtrack to before surgery. What happened to him?
Let's do it, baby.
Ooh, they
Let's
shave
go.
you.
Let's go in the
Did you shave your
timeline.
wiener?
What?
No, he didn't.
They're not
Unbeknownst to
harvesting
him,
veins
to
from
guess.
there.
I don't know if they told you, but I was not there. Unbeknownst to him, 2 nurses came in with razors. He's standing there naked.
Yeah.
And he shaved every
See?
piece of hair.
Let's-
Shaved your wiener.
With
Let's see it.
electric razors.
Electric razors.
They said
Yeah.
drop your gown, so I'm standing in the middle of it. Just drop my gown. Doctors are coming in and out.
And you said, I just had a fucking heart attack. What are you trying to do to me?
No, this is pre-surgery. This is pre.
Pre-surgery.
And they went,
Yeah, no,
they
right
went
after the heart
with
attack,
2
yeah.
razors.
Like a
I
baby's
anything
butt.
wrong?
No.
I looked like a skin cat, like a hairless cat.
That's so scary.
Yeah. The weirdest part was they didn't shave my face and my
Yeah.
head.
How come
so
you didn't send that video out?
Did they shave your armpits?
I-
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Wow.
hey.
I'm like, but
Are you-
there's
are
still
you
not
free
air?
next
It's
weekend?
amazing.
Oh, you want to see the scar? Oh, that sucker.
You know what? Actually, as a middle-aged male, That's not that
What's
bad.
that one?
That's not that bad.
He had 3
These
big
these
tubes
are-
coming out of there.
Oh.
I had a spaghetti
That's
bowl.
not as bad as I
I
would've
can't keep
thought.
my eyes off those rock hard
I know
nipples.
he's got a 6-pack now all of a sudden.
Yeah, I had 4 drainage tubes. I had.
Let's see that again. Let's see that again.
Yeah.
It's really not that bad.
I think it's sexy.
For 3,
They glue it now. It's
They don't.
glue.
They don't stay
Glue
put.
your-
They
They
glue.
glue.
They glue your
shit.
chest
Those
back together.
pictures.
That's insane.
Sutures are a thing of the past.
It looks like you got a knife.
Shut
fight.
up.
It
It looks
does.
like you got a lift on those tits
not-
while you're there. That was a 2-for-1.
It's push-ups, man.
Tummy tuck.
Man, you're a tit guy,
But
right? Kev?
inside this bone is titanium wired shut.
Yeah. So yeah. So
I heard you have a ground wire in there too.
They pulled that out.
Oh,
That was in case.
Gross.
That was in case my there was a hot
A
wire.
filter.
There was a copper wire wrapped around my heart in case my heart stopped, and they would attach that and.
Oh my
Oh
Oh
god.
my
Oh,
god.
wow.
Jeez.
I didn't know that.
yeah.
Yeah, there's all kinds of stuff inside.
That happens at Rampart.
Jesus Christ.
So
Amazing.
anyway,
God
yeah,
bless
let's get into the food selections and the shower activity.
Food selection was horrible. Although they tell
Sounds
you
like a
not
spa.
to eat white foods, not to eat this, not to eat that.
Why not white foods?
Like eel pie?
Like
Are they
pasta.
racist?
The fuck is
Where's
that?
those grits?
That's what great British people, and they're the whitest people I know.
Eel pie.
That's what British people
Sounds like a
eat.
horrible band.
It's terrible. That should be a new band name.
That was
Eel
not my
pie.
band in college.
They feed you what they tell you not to eat.
Yeah.
That's weird.
Like baked spaghetti with cheese.
They
What's the last thing you want to eat?
I'm also
I
what I was
walked
gonna
in,
say
I'm
is
like,
they
"Why are you
feed
eating
you what
that?"
they
Yeah.
tell you not to eat.
It's
crazy.
fucking
They
insane.
And
totally
it's
feed
horrible.
you what they say.
Don't eat.
eat.
Don't ever eat this. But here's a cheese ball. You're like, I don't
Mine
want
is
that.
salt.
Yeah.
It's like a
Like,
salt
I don't
free.
understand.
The best in the 8 days, 7 days, or whatever I was there.
8.
8 days I was there. The turkey pie
Yeah.
was the best because
Also,
'Cause it
that's
didn't
not
taste like
good for
plastic.
you.
no, they made like a big batch of the turkey filling, the pot pie filling, and they put it in like a French onion crock,
Sound alright.
and they put phyllo dough, real phyllo dough, and they bake it. It was the real deal.
Wow.
I only had one of those once.
Phyllo dough.
Phyllo dough.
Yeah.
phyllo
Yeah.
dough.
Yeah, you remember
Phyllo.
charcuterie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tomato, tomato.
Charcuterie.
Charcuterie.
Angina, feeling fine.
China.
Poor guy.
Hard
said,
veins.
You're like, anyone visiting, please bring me like some organic blueberries or something.
Yeah.
Because he's like eating pineapple.
Well, I
It
didn't-
tasted like plastic.
Sorry, farmer's market wasn't going quite then.
Yeah.
I didn't know
My
what
bad.
when I went down to visit him, I didn't know what I could get away with. He had texted me before surgery that he checked with the nurses and the administrators, and he said, I found out that once I'm in recovery, all bets are off. We could do a live podcast from my recovery room.
Oh, shit.
And I was like,
Was
this
he
is,
on drugs?
I said, this guy's brilliant. This is going to be the best podcast show ever in the history of podcasting. F you, Adam Carolla. You have nothing on this. You're going to have a heart attack to beat this show. But then I got the straight poop from Kandy Xander.
She's like, no.
Where I said that Dennis said we could do a show from his room, and she was like, "That is not fucking happening."
I'll be honest, I was really excited about
Yeah,
that.
so
We
I
had to learn
didn't
about
I
that.
didn't know what the truth was, but I did.
He had very wishful thinking.
But I did.
He was
know-
on drugs, apparently.
I was on drugs.
I had a
Unsolicited.
I had a brief
Yeah.
moment where I was heading down there to visit him, and I was like, "Do I stop by In-N-Out? Am I going to be able to smuggle this into my backpack?"
That's not good for you.
Your last meal, I brought you Thai food, remember?
The dysfunctional family brought him McDonald's.
That's pretty.
Well,
Wow.
And maybe like a little
That's
plastic
loving.
bottle of some
Yeah.
vodka, no chaser.
Yeah.
I wouldn't doubt it.
she's like, I snuck in some meth.
They were.
Bring it.
Yeah, you're gonna be the best patient on this ward.
God.
Yeah,
Here you go,
everybody's
Pops.
gonna be coming to you.
Yeah.
But
So-
yeah, getting back to you saying that, and you, I think, said something to me, and I was thinking like, no, and you know, this is where the really humbling, like, kind of shocking part is. I mean, if you've all experienced someone coming out of any surgery, but then this surgery was just like all the things that hooked up to him, but like again, all the nursing and just they're so amazing. But like they set goals for him. They're like, your first goal, you're gonna sit up in your bed. And so what does Dennis do? he sits up in his bed and then he stands up. Like he surpassed his first goal for the next day. This is the next day.
They discharged me 2 days earlier.
So he was like already like
staying ahead of
in the mindset to like really.
You gotta get out of there.
Yeah.
It's the worst place in the world to be.
And
but they will kill you in there.
But the food and no sleep.
Totally.
Dude,
You don't get any
glad
rest.
that you had a really good experience.
Is that a
because mine was
surprise?
terrible.
You know, 1 in 10 they said. Right? You're the 10%.
Amazing.
Yeah, he told me. He said that the faster you, the more you go through our little drills and
They said that all the
exercises,
time.
the quicker you can get out of here.
Yep.
So so
They have you moving like.
They
the
want
You're
next
like,
day.
I'm gonna get up and shotgun a beer.
Yeah.
They want you to walk around one nurse's station, so I would walk around the whole floor, both nurses' stations.
Good job.
Kicking ass.
And they would
The nurse, they live in the real world. They know that the cash register's going ka-ching, ka-ching, ka-ching as long as you're in there.
Yeah, but when Dennis would get back, when Dennis would do more than they asked him to do, he would get back to his room and he would slowly take his sunglasses off and look straight into the camera and go like this.
Hey, we haven't used that one in a while.
Wow. Is that Rush?
No, that's the Who.
I'm reaching. No, that's
It's Roger Daltrey in the Who, man.
CSI.
Oh, the Who,
That's
right.
CSI Miami.
Yeah.
Again, your age is coming out.
Oh, that's not that
That was
bad.
a show in the '90s thing. Early 2000s.
I'll back you up on that.
CSI Miami. Nobody watched that.
So, in conclusion,
I don't think you can hear that song without it being CSI.
Hang on a second. Let me read it.
What's the prognosis?
prognosis is
Still no.
I'm still going through cardio rehab. So
Well,
I
let's
got-
talk about
I got 12
hiccups and sneezes.
Ah.
Wait, talk about
And he had a pillow.
Oh, that's good, that's
Pillow.
good.
He had a hard pillow.
So you had the heart pillow. I walked in there. You had this giant scar. You had all kinds of tubes.
Yeah.
All this stuff.
I mean, slowly they started taking things out, which
Yeah.
is great. You're like,
There
oh,
was
it's
there was two
easy.
tubes around my lungs. There was a tube around my heart. There was electric wire around my heart. There was a tube up my dick. There was 2 tubes in my arm.
Yeah.
One on my neck.
Big one in your neck.
Big
Yeah.
one on my neck because they kept taking stuff out of my body and putting stuff into my body through my neck.
Lindsay, you're consistent. I gotta give you that.
Just like thinking about Dennis's dick.
Oh boy.
Sorry, Candy.
We never did get that
Big bang.
shower
Big bang.
story.
So I walked in and
Yeah.
you were telling me that there is a common after effect.
Oh,
I have that effect on men.
Double vein things though.
You said that there was a common after effect that you were unaware of and nobody even warned you about when it comes to open heart surgery. So essentially what they do is they slice your chest open.
They take
isn't
they,
bad.
they,
They
they take
split
a,
you in half.
They take a circular saw with a circumference about that, and they
Yep.
cut you. And
Yeah, keep your
open
mouth
it-
open.
Open you up to your sternum.
Take
like
all
this,
the parts out.
and they take a heart.
Set them on a shelf.
They take my heart and put it over here onto this machine.
Something for
They take
scarecrow.
my 2 lungs and they put it over on the same machine.
Yep.
And then he does his thing, and then so he actually kills me.
You're disconnected.
They actually die.
You're disconnected.
It's like Westworld.
Seriously.
Wow.
That's what tripped me out.
So wait, when you say die,
Yeah,
you mean
you're-
like
Is that a
your
new show?
heart activity?
Yeah, it's
Stop.
Westworld.
Totally
Yeah.
unaware of that.
Your
Current
brain
show.
activity.
They
is going
stop
on.
you, but they're running those
Right.
organs on a machine.
You can't be brain
And you're
dead.
not in
Yeah,
it.
your
They're
brain's
not
still
connected.
it has to be.
Just your
And
heart.
I am glad I didn't know that before the surgery because I would be
Can't be brain
I
dead.
didn't visualize that.
He seems more lucid though.
So the day.
Yeah, he's on top of it now.
The night before the surgery, I had surgery at 6:30 in the morning. The night before, your procedure is on tape in your TV, not yours, but one like yours, open heart surgery. So that's interesting. So I watched it before my thing, and I
That's
remember
like a goat.
I remember this machine, and I remember them saying in the video that they're gonna take your heart out and put it in the machine, and you put your lungs up to this machine. And then when I rolled into the
That looks nothing like me.
when I rolled, you want to hear this about?
I know.
I do.
Next.
He's cracking himself up. Nobody else gets it.
Kevin's in denial.
I'm laughing.
Sorry.
Next question.
Yeah, so next question is, I go in and I see you and you've just been sewn back up and everything. And you've got this. You're talking about this titanium plate in your chest, which is still there. It's going to stay there.
Wrong.
No, it came out.
No.
Oh.
It's a titanium bale.
Oh, okay, got it.
Yeah, and it bailed
right.
center of the chest together.
Right. Knit one, purl two.
Did they?
And they will
I
take
guess
it
I
out.
missed. Did they slice open?
That.
No, but I mean like through the ribs or.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Sternum.
What are you
all
kidding?
this
I mean, yeah.
It's like a
So this
riveting.
whole
And then they go.
Like-
So this whole time,
Right
this
through the
whole
middle, so
the
it
last
can be-
3 weeks, my sternum and my rib cage and all my parts inside, totally normal. They call it remodeling.
Yeah.
So
So
everything's
they're-
trying to find its new home.
They're trying to find its new home. So I feel like boom. I feel bubbles.
Oh,
I feel
weird.
like little chest farts. Like
Watching Amber over in the peanut gallery over there,
Yeah.
she's just shoving in.
yeah, it's
Faces.
intense.
Ugh.
And then for the first 2 weeks post surgery, the first 2 weeks I was home. I'm not a sneezer, and I never had a sneeze for 2 weeks. So here's my sternum healing, and then I sneezed.
Yeah, but wait, hold on a
geez.
second. Don't jump ahead. You had that. You talk about the hiccups.
The hiccups were horrible.
So I guess that's a common thing after you get opened up like that,
So
right?
the this is 2 days after surgery. Peter Joseph Burt came to us on. Anybody knows who Peter Joseph Burt is?
Yeah.
He was
had
in
the same thing.
Emergency 51.
No, he had the same surgery, and he came to see me right after
Rad.
surgery,
So
and
rad.
it was just a plethora of information. And,
He had it done too.
Right, and I was like, oh god, I had hiccups last night for an hour. He had hiccups for 26 hours.
That's insane.
I
26
know.
hours. And you know what a hiccup sounds like? Freshly when you're freshly sewn up. It hurts
Fuck.
like fucking
Well,
hell.
you said you
Oh, it hurt.
you said it was the most painful thing you'd ever experienced, and you
It was.
cried
I
like
did.
a baby.
Yes and yes.
So that's
But-
another thing about this kind of stuff that nobody talks about. I've never heard that before.
Yeah.
So the
It
hiccup,
was so bad they gave me
gave
they
you
gave me a
something.
muscle relaxer.
the hiccup thing is a common thing after you've been opened up like that, where you're all exposed and then you get closed back up again.
Air
You,
and all kinds of
you
shit.
have a hiccup. You have a hiccup episode, depending on who you are, is how long it lasts, but apparently very, very painful.
The whole time after they gave me the first muscle relaxer for the hiccups, I was given like a cocktail of medicine. Like, I want to say 10, 15.
It's a lot.
The only thing I was concerned of in that little cup was the orange oval one. It was the hiccup. Right. Is that hiccup thing in here? I don't see that. Give me the hiccup pill. God damn it. 'Cause I didn't want that to come back. It hurt that much. So anyway, go home. I'm home for 2 weeks and I haven't sneezed yet. And my first
It was the first
unsolicited
week.
sneeze, yeah,
It was funny.
came, and she said I made some kind of a squeal that she's never heard
Yelp
before.
and I've
Oh,
never.
it
I was
hurt.
like, oh.
It hurts so bad.
bad.
I just sneezed today and it wasn't so bad. It still hurt hell, but it wasn't nearly.
You
as
thought
bad.
everything was gonna blow out. Like you feel like.
I mean, that's what I would think.
Well,
Like,
if everything's
it
still
won't.
settling, and you
Yeah.
can feel you can feel your lungs settling. You can feel. I mean, that's just some. My anxiety would be so high. I don't even know what I would do.
You know, and on that note, what you just said, Kev, the way you described it, and like having to watch a video the night before of what they're gonna do,
Of a
and
goat.
then having your significant other, your wife, right next. I mean, the way you humanized it and described it, not everybody can handle it that way.
No.
And again, here I am tooting your horn again. Please, hey Dennis, can we have a drink? But I mean, you know,
agree,
Karen, you know, you right next to him,
I know.
you were totally humanizing it. I could see you
I
get,
was
you
calm
could feel
and
in
just
it.
being like, okay, we're in this, we're doing this, and he was.
It doesn't
he
make it
didn't-
any
he didn't
easier.
he didn't show any fear about it. He just was like, I don't know. You were really in a great mindset and
What?
about everything.
Going back to that video, when I saw the video and they said we're gonna stop your heart, put on this machine, stop your lungs,
I didn't
put
know
on this
you
machine.
watched that.
Yeah.
Fucking
when
A.
I rolled.
Not everybody can handle that
in the
shit.
No,
morning-
I didn't know
6:30 in the morning, they're rolling me into the operating room, and I saw said machine. I saw in the
shit,
video,
really?
and a big calming came over me. I'm
Yeah,
like,
I know.
there's that machine.
And what music were they
I'm in
playing?
good hands. Oh, then Lauryn Hill was in the background.
They were playing Cornell.
Nice.
And I remember them saying,
awesome.
you're going to do the old 10-9-8 thing.
She's
You're
from
gonna
the
be- You're
90s.
going to be out.
You know, I
If
know,
she shows up.
I know we're joking around about this, and you're sharing your story, but I mean the fact
master
that
of the pan flute. I mean, that's the only thing you play in surgery, right?
No, that's the anesthesiologist.
What a
Yeah, but I mean the way you're
know
humanizing
what
it,
your
like,
Yes.
and again, not everybody can handle watching a video like that, and again, Karen is absorbing all this information, and she's like still emotional over it. I mean, it's just real life shit, and then again, the point to that is that the way you handled it is, I think, one of the reasons why you're talking to us.
I want to say that I would just because I was humorous and all that other good stuff. Thank you. I appreciate that. Just because I was humor in it, it was
That was your way of coping.
It was a way of coping.
This is definitely how I cope too.
Because I was definitely scared. I was definitely scared.
can't.
I didn't think I was gonna make it at one point. You know,
I'm like on the edge of my seat. I'm all clinched up because, like, again, seriously, like everybody's handling it differently. I am all tense right now, and I don't know if it's because it scares the fuck out of me because of my mortality, you know, and I'm just being selfish, or like it's your story and how riveting it is. It's a little bit of both.
I was scared. I'm not gonna lie.
Brian.
I'm all clinched up. Look at
Punching.
Let
But
me,
you can be
let me
scared
loosen
and-
you up for a sec.
Fucking song.
Yeah, Christina, get it.
So, speaking of comedy and this whole thing, there was one story that you related to me that I said to myself when you told me this story, this has to go on the podcast next time we talk about this, and that was the fact that you had been standing in front of tens of people at any given point, fully naked, exposed to the winds, being poked and prodded, and these people were trying to help you.
Shaved.
These people were trying to help you do every single function.
I saw that movie.
You didn't necessarily need that, but they were going with you to make sure you didn't slip and fall or whatever it may have been.
Correct.
However, there was one incident that happened just prior to my arrival that you were pretty high on. I remember you're pretty happy about. And it sounds like the person that was assisting with you was not super disappointed either. Dennis, go.
So the nurses have humor as well, and yes, like he said, you're naked at any point at any time of the day. They just tell you to disrobe, and there's literally a team of nurses and doctors. I would say 8 at one point, or it's just in there just talking and discussing things. And at one point, I took a shower. I had to take a shower. They were telling me I had to take a shower. The first 3 days, I was like, I don't want to. So, long story short, the nurses have to come in the showers with you, like literally in the showers.
Oh darn!
You stood up. It wasn't just like
They
in
had
bed.
like
Nerve whispers.
They wear rubber shoes and everything because they're in the shower with you. And she made a comment. Goes, "Oh, look who came out of hiding." That's all he's bringing up. Because the whole time I'm sitting naked in front of like and my manhood was inside me.
What?
Hiding out. Plus it was cold, and you're unfamiliar with everybody.
They're shrinking.
You didn't have a catheter anymore.
No, I didn't have a catheter at that point.
Yeah, that was.
So she's like, "Look who came out of hiding." And she was being funny, but she shocked me. I was like, "Whoa, what?"
Nah, you're like, that thing wasn't out.
Costanza, George Costanza.
It moved.
Yeah.
Oh, it was cold.
So that's it wasn't as big as he brought it up to. That's what happened.
That's what we heard. Not as big as.
She's good at that.
Yeah, Lindsay.
What the?
But Dennis, you do have to. You're an amazing person, and
I already told him that.
I know he's in love with him.
I know Brian and Dennis are going to make out later.
Awesome.
But this podcast, there's a bunch of us here. I loved your fundraiser celebration, whatever it was, at Alibi a few weeks ago.
Thank you, Alibi. My just amazing.
They're awesome.
Both Alibis gave up both venues on two consecutive weekends. And,
All day.
all day long. And
Amazing.
when I arrived at the first benefit, I was definitely overwhelmed with emotion. As soon as
This
I got
was like your first time out. Like
Yeah,
you were home.
yeah.
Like you had
Yeah.
just gotten home.
All right.
And
I
I'm like,
shuffled-
I'm
I
like,
shuffled to the alibi.
well, I'm procrastinating, like,
I still had
and
my heart
delaying
pillow.
leaving the home because he's like, being MrD, but I want to go see all the bands. I want to support all the bands, and I'm like,
Nice.
but you aren't, you can't go crazy. Like you have to take it easy. And like, sure enough, he went and you
Went
survived. But
crazy.
it was a big night.
It was overwhelming.
Because you hadn't been sleeping. You're still, just getting home. And
I saw this Buzz and Marnie, Scott Dwyer and Marnie. I don't know if anybody knows Scott Dwyer and Marnie. Buzzy and Marnie.
the chapters of your friendships that were there, the
That's
chapters
what I'm
in
trying to say.
Right.
When I walked in
Yeah.
there,
Amazing.
when I walked in there and saw Buzzy
It
and
was like-
Marnie, when I saw Buzz and Marnie,
Oh my
they were
God.
21 years ago. I just moved here, was having a hard time finding a place to live, and they let me live in their living room for free. They were there,
Wow.
and I just broke down and just hugged them for 10 minutes or whatever. But it was intense. And then seeing people, my first job people and people who hired me, it was just amazing to see what people came out.
It was
to
a
support.
big
It's
amount of
amazing.
people, and like all facets of all topics.
The raffle, just everyone that helped out. Amy Doran was her.
Oh, she was amazing.